Hi, everyone, and good evening, and welcome to this Thursday's show. We picked up some significant rainfall over the course of today, followed by a little sun and some clouds thereafter. We'll talk about rainfall totals locally here in just a few moments, and a weather forecast that has largely remained unchanged from 24 hours ago. I don't say that often, and I don't say that lightly. We've got a dense fog advisory in effect late tonight and through tomorrow. We've got some more things happening weather-wise over the course of your weekend and leading up to it, but thereafter, man, I got to tell you, starting Monday and throughout all of next week, at least as far as the forecast period goes, we're talking about a lot of sun, a lot of clear skies, and a lot of mild air to go with it. Very, very nice conditions after, a little bit of other situations to have to deal with between now and Monday. An update on your forecast in a few moments, as well as local headlines. But we'll start off tragically tonight learning of a fatal auto accident that I understand took place in Floyd County earlier today. It happened just before noon in a small area in Harold, or near Harold, near the Pike-Floyd County line. It happened on US 23. We're also told that details at this hour are limited. The Kentucky State Police did call a reconstructionist to the scene, where they remained for quite some time. 2 vehicles were involved. 1 death has been confirmed. No identity, no condition updates on the other driver and or passengers, if indeed there were any. But one person confirmed dead in that 2-car crash earlier today, right around noon, in the Pike-Floyd County area, near the county line there on US 23. More details just as soon as we have them. Bill Estep penned in the Kentucky Herald, or Kentucky.com, a report today about a Floyd County coal mine operator who's accused of intimidating 2 federal inspectors, making them, they say, fear for at least their safety, and if not their lives, but definitely their safety. He's been identified, that being the operator, as Jeremy Bryant, who allegedly screamed at the inspectors, backing one against a wall during a discussion that became physical and nearly led to an altercation. Bryant said that Bryant reportedly, according to the inspector, stood inches from at least one inspector in a fighting stance, yelling, making a great deal of fuss over a citation that was being discussed. The inspectors think that it could have gotten worse had Bryant's father not stepped in and removed him from the situation. His father, accused of similar instances sometime prior. The U.S. Mine Safety and Health Administration is trying to get an injunction to keep Bryant from interfering with its inspectors through means of threats and physical violence and intimidation. Bryant, according to the report, is listed as the president of Connor Coal, which runs a small underground mining operation that has around 21 employees or so. It's also the second time, at least, that this has happened. He had a prior warning, according to the issue, in 2011, in which Bryant screamed and lunged at a federal inspector then. MSHA supervisors met with him at the time, and he vowed not to do that type of thing again. Bryant's father, identified as Connie Bryant, was also accused of threatening an inspector back in 2000. Also, the Kentucky State Police Crime Lab in Frankfort is getting a little help monetarily. And man, do they need it. It's just hard to imagine that there are thousands of rape kits attached to investigations that have just been lying around for so long and going nowhere to help solve those cases. But with almost a $2 million grant right now from the district attorney in New York County, in Manhattan, it appears as though they may be able to eliminate, they're hoping, that entire backlog of about 3,000 untested rape kits in Kentucky altogether, in police custody, statewide. 3,000. There's actually enough funding to pay for a little more than 3,000 from what I understand. They've also worked out a deal with 2 private testing labs to test all of those. They've also gotten a reduced rate from anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500 being the average cost, cut down to about $675 each. Kentucky's backlog, it says, of untested rape kits won attention last winter when the General Assembly passed Senate Joint Resolution 20, which instructed State Auditor Adam Eland to determine just how many untested kits were sitting on shelves in police departments around the Commonwealth. His report is still forthcoming. However, state police say they have about 1,000 untested kits in their custody, and they think more than likely they'll have about 2,000 more to be turned in by local police in the coming months, hearing of this new grant and the funding to help get those tested. Kentucky's grant is actually part of a nearly $80 million effort by the White House and the Manhattan DA to help get rid of tens of thousands of rape kits, which are just lying around on shelves in various departments all across the United States. A pause, a few words, a few of our sponsors, and more headlines to follow. Stay tuned. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. Regular meeting time would have been next week due to a scheduling conflict. The Johnson County Fiscal Court met in special session last afternoon, the meeting beginning at 4:30, also beginning with a brief discussion on setting property tax rates, a discussion which was tabled at least for the time being. With Judge Tucker Daniels saying that he was waiting on a document from Frankfort before they proceeded with that discussion. He did, however, bring the fiscal court and the audience up to speed on a projected Van Leer sewer project that will benefit hundreds of residents in Johnson County. He said it's been 6 to 7 years in the making, been on and off the board, so to speak, as far as the project board is concerned, but they believe they have the funding resolved, and he just had a meeting with the Tetra Tech officials and others and outlined the area that this is going to affect greatly in Johnson County and how it also has other effects besides just immediate or soon-to-be services to those residents.
We had meetings recently with our engineering, Tetra Tech engineering staff and City of Paintsville Utilities, and the project would involve laying a sewer line from the Powell Addition section right now, which is as far as the Paintsville sewer line goes, or sewer project goes. And this line would be laid up 302 towards Van Leer, going left on Mills Creek Road and on up to the past the number 5 store and up on the hill to where the Johnson County former Johnson County garbage dump is located, and that's been closed now for how many years, Sam? 10 years or so? Longer than that.
Probably 14.
Yeah, right after I first come in office. And we secured this funding, which permits now, rather than having to have all that leachate over the years that we've been hauling, gathering it in a container tank, and then hauling that, pumping it out of the tank and hauling that stuff to dispose of at a solid waste or a wastewater treatment plant. And now that's going to be funded by Frankfort, and it looks like that in addition to serving the purpose that we intended it for, which was to serve the closure of that landfill and take care of the leachate problem for years and years to come. In addition to that, we're going to have a line that lays 3 or 4 miles from Powell Addition all the way up to that site, and all the people that live along that road in the process would have a chance to hook on to city sewer system. So it's a win-win situation for everybody, and we're expecting some good news on that finalization of this project in the next few weeks, and I'll keep you posted on that. Pretty voluminous and Section 8 statutory authorization.
There was also a second reading of the Flood Damage Protection Ordinance, which is basically a formality, but a serious formality, which enables Johnson County to be eligible for flood insurance. They also discussed the 2015 tax rate. Now, this was not the property tax rate which they tabled for the time being, but the tax rate which is set by the Health Department of Johnson County, that entity which has the authority to set and administer tax rates, only needed recognition by the Johnson County Fiscal Court.
We have no authority over making changes to this rate, but we do need to accept it and pass it on to clerk, and it's part of our official record.
We have no choice but to accept it.
No, we have no choice. Need a motion to accept the tax rate as proposed.
The tax rate had been at 4 cents per every $100 of valuation. They increased it 50%, which meant that the Johnson County Health Department had requested and approved, as was approved by the Johnson County Fiscal Court, a new tax rate of 6 cents per every $100 of valuation. I also need to make mention, Judge Daniel reappointed 2 members to the Public Library Board in Johnson County. Ben Tackett and Zella Wells reappointed by the judge, recognized by the court. Also, they recognized in a unanimous vote or with support to continue the process of applying and receiving a generator for the Rock House Fire Department. Now going on to calendar announcements, the Story Patch at the Oscar, the Old Oil Springs Elementary School, is debuting their performance of The Reunion, written by Chelsea Marcantel, performed by the Johnson County Storytellers. They'll have public performances on the weekends of the 11th and the 12th, and the 18th and 19th, and daytime shows on Sunday the 13th and Sunday the 20th at 3, and they've also got special dinner theater appearances or shows on the 12th and an Appalachian Dessert Theater on the 13th. Book your tickets by calling 789-8108 or find them at The Story Patch on Facebook. A reminder about the September Cruise-In brought to you by the Licking River Cruises Car Club. It's this Saturday here in Montgomery County at the Advanced Auto Parts parking lot. All proceeds and donations go to the Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation. The first 75 to show up get free dash plaques. They'll have door prizes and concessions, and it's all brought to you by Miller's Body Shop, DQ, and Lee's of Sagersville, Advanced Auto, CarQuest, and the Montgomery County Health Department this Saturday at 4, and a special recognition day by the Sagersville First Baptist Church for all first responders, all police, fire, ambulance, rescue, volunteer, or paid first responders are asked to join them in attendance and be recognized with a lunch to follow services, all beginning at 11 o'clock this Sunday morning at the Sagersville First Baptist Church. And this just in, a food drive for the backpack program. Destiny Gibson is conducting a food drive for our local backpack program sponsored by the Montgomery County Extension Office. They're collaborating with resource centers to provide weekend backpacks of food to local families, and she's asking that you donate to this cause. There's some items at the bottom of your screen, canned goods and other non-perishables. The Sagersville grade school classes will be collecting food items the 14th through the 24th at the grade school. Moms and dads and other schools, you can donate as well. And one classroom from upstairs and one classroom downstairs gets a pizza party for the most food items brought in. And on that note, if you want to be a superhero, now through October the 18th, Tara Williams and Cassidy Ward are doing a canned soup drive, and all donations can be dropped off at the Extension office, or you can call them at the numbers at the bottom of your screen to donate. They're going to help get enough food for weekend backpacks for 100 kids and or 40 families in Montgomery County. Drop off at the Extension office or give them a call. How cool is that? Give me a call. You got a birthday, you got an anniversary, you got a calendar announcement for your club, church, organization, or nonprofit like you just heard. I'll tell everyone about it. You just have to get it to me. Another typo. It's the second I've spotted tonight, this one in the time of services for Mr. Ellis Montgomery. My apologies. But 87-year-old Ellis Montgomery of Sagersville passed away on the 9th. He was preceded in death by his wife, Arzelia Barnett Montgomery. He's survived by sons David, Larry, John, Bobby, and Ricky Montgomery, and daughters Diane Parsons, Wanda Burton, Linda Ball, Kay Allen, Wanda Sue Montgomery, and Vivian Lee Montgomery. Visitation is this evening, all day tomorrow, and up until services, which start Saturday morning at 11 a.m., all from the Montgomery County Funeral Home. I've also been told to announce the passing of 71-year-old Alma Whitaker Slusher of Sagersville, who passed away on the 9th, this Wednesday as well, preceded in death by her husband, Carl Slusher, Carl Jr. She is survived by sons Carl Vonnery and Ronnie, daughters Jeanette Helton and Becky Puckett. Services have been set for this Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock at the Montgomery County Funeral Home Chapel. Burial will follow at the Whitaker Cemetery on Punchin. As for visitation, it will begin tomorrow evening after 6 for the public, continue all day Saturday, and up until services Sunday at 2. Once again, in honor of 71-year-old Alma Whitaker Slusher of Sagersville. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. As I mentioned on last night's program, still a lot of news to try to work into the rest of this week, and I've only got one day left after tonight. And of course, I showed you a very brief portion of a report about a local veteran, Mr. Rudd, receiving the Ambassador of Peace Award from Korea, and we are very anxious to bring you that story. But I'm also making sure that I get it all put together. It's a great story, and it's got a lot of effort going into it, so I'll have that for you. I'm also set to talk down with a few individuals, and I'm still putting calls out there to talk to some more about the meeting that I referred to last night. It took place in Frankfort last week when the Kentucky Heritage Council, the Kentucky Department of Libraries, the Big Sandy Ad Board, as well as Senator Smith, Representative John Short, all asked McGoffin County Judge Executive Charles Hardin, who was also asked for the meeting itself as well, but requested the attendance of Chairman of the McGoffin County Public Library Board, Ronnie Gullett, and my father, Douglas Mortimer, who's been a proponent of trying to save the Sagersville First Baptist Church building, to come to Frankfort for a meeting. And after that meeting, or during that meeting, there were some options and some support offered on behalf of all those state committees, and I'm told not just to help build a new library on an alternative site, but also a lot of support, and I do mean a lot of support, offered to help save and even remodel the church as well, making it a win-win for the entire situation. However, that was not agreed upon prior to that meeting letting out, and we're trying to get more information, and I'm set to sit down with some of those individuals in that meeting tomorrow and let them tell you more about it. So we hope to have that tomorrow. And then I've got a lot of other news to try to work in as well. For now, tell you what is happening tomorrow. It's week 3 or week 4, depending on who you are and how your schedule runs for high school football. And here's where everyone stands thus far, still in the early season. Starting off with Coach Matney and his Golden Eagles in 4A play. The Eagles are 2-0 on the season. No regional or district matchups yet, but they have won 2 games, 41-6 in their opener on the road against Fairland at Proctorville, Ohio, and then on the road at Lexington Cath last week, 42-28. Now that puts them home this Saturday. Now the last update I could get was that they had a game set for Saturday evening, not Friday, but Saturday the 12th, and the opponent was to be announced. Try to let you in on that a little bit more on tomorrow's program. But the Johnson Central Golden Eagles in their third game at home, third game of the season, the first one at home, and once again, so far from my knowledge, set for this Saturday. Turning to Coach Scotty McCoy and his McGoffin County Hornets in 3A play, they've had a rough go this year, and in fact, they've only picked up 15 points against their opponents, 134 in the first 3 games. They are coming back home tomorrow night, and they're hosting Betsy Lane. Now, Betsy Lane also having a rough season, so pretty evenly matched. Betsy Lane is also in the 8th district, but they are 0-3 after losses 20-38 to South Floyd and 0-56 against Morgan County and 6-61 against Sheldon Clark. They've only picked up 26 points to their opponents, 155. So a fairly even matchup, you can say, in that regards, but nevertheless, the Hornets are 0-3, and they've got 1 loss after 1 game in regional and district play for that matchup. And once again, they're hosting Betsy Lane tomorrow night here at home. As for Morgan County, Coach Turner and his Cougars, well, they're at 2-0 after a big win, 56-0 over Betsy Lane, and then 34-6 over Allen Central. That puts them back on the road tomorrow night against Bath County, who is a 1-1 going into this matchup after a loss to Fairview at 35-52 and a win over Rowan County 21-19. So once again, the Morgan County Cougars 2-0, and they're on the road to Bath County tomorrow night. And, of course, a lot of eyes on Mr. Daniel and his Paintsville Tigers and, of course, their coach, Joe Chirico. 23-22. We knew it was going to be a close one. It went to overtime and was just eked out by 1 for the Paintsville Tigers over Pikeville. This was a home game for the Tigers. Nevertheless, they're 3-0. They're 2-0 in the region, and they have scored 112 points to their opponents' 34 this season after all 3 wins over Sheldon Clark, Frankfort, and Pikeville, and also puts them at home tomorrow night hosting Ridgeview, Virginia. Kickoff set for 7:30 for all the before-mentioned games. Now, the next question is, what are you going to wear? I'm sure it's going to be your respective school colors, but what are you going to wear? Well, that's a good segue, as good as any for your weather forecast. 77 and holding at the 6 o'clock hour here at the studio. I also picked up 1.16 inches of rainfall today, making up a little bit of ground. Here's your forecast staring at you. Low of 61 tonight. Those showers have been ending and will continue to do so. I think they're pretty much clearing out. They will leave us with mostly cloudy skies and a dense fog advisory for late tonight, early tomorrow. Widespread dense fog. You'll see the fog. You'll see little else. Keep that in mind, and that will be the big warning of the forecast. The rest of it, though, just has a few changes and twists to it. We can say that safely. Tomorrow, I think we're going to top out right at 80 degrees. After that fog, it's going to be a nice day to start with. Mostly sunny skies for your Friday, a high of 80. A low of 58 tomorrow night. That will be late tomorrow night. Now, keep in mind, a nice day tomorrow. However, scattered showers and thunderstorms likely after 8 o'clock tomorrow night, to the tune of 70%. That's when you want to think about your attire for the ball games. Saturday, we're 40% chance of showers and storms. We're still talking about mostly cloudy skies. And look at it. Looky. 68 degrees for your high, 50 for your low. That 40% chance of showers and storms is early. It wanes to 20 by Saturday evening, and 20 early Sunday is about all we're staring at. Sunday, I think by noon, any threat should be gone, leaving us mostly sunny and definitely mostly cool. 65 degrees is where I expect us to be sitting under sunny skies, but 65 on your Sunday, a low of 47. And once that shower and storm threat, only 20% early Sunday, wipes out of here, well, look what we've got left. Temperatures start to rebound. 73, sunny on your Monday, still cool. Low 50s, upper 40s for nighttime lows. But check this out. 73 and sunny Monday, 78 and sunny on your Tuesday, 81 and sunny on your Wednesday, 81 and sunny on your Thursday of next week. Completely clear, completely dry, totally nice. Left. It's a mere 30 minutes to try to squeeze in all the news that you could only see right here on Your News Today. We hope to see you back here for tomorrow's edition. For now, thank you for being a part of this one, and have a good night.